So good evening, John. Damian Thorne here from Team Velocity there in the HDIP in IHSS in DKIT. Just doing my screencast for CA2 for IHSS. I suppose I'll just start there by just talking a little bit about the DTT. I'll actually go into my file here. Well, first of all, I'll actually go into our database layout just to refresh your memory. What we have is a patient table, a symptom table, and healthcare professional table up the top, and we join these using junction tables. So to join patient and healthcare professional, we use a consultation table. To join symptom and patient, we use a patient symptom table. For this particular CA, we concentrated on patient table, healthcare professional table, and consultation table. I've actually done some work on patient symptom table, the junction table there, which is working. Not 100%. It goes wrong near the end. I think it's to do with the foreign key in the database. It was working before, but what's happened over the last number of days is that we've been doing a lot of pair programming on one machine, Anthony's machine, and I've just imported all the data back in tonight that we've been doing over the last few days, and I've hit one or two small little snags. So you'll find if you run that, you'll get so far, you'll get into the patient symptom table, you'll be able to input a lot of the information, but there's an issue with the foreign key, which I have to sort out, which I'd sorted out before. I'll sort it out again, just haven't got time at the moment. So that's just a quick refresher. So I'll go back to my code. So what I have here, if I go into my code here, well, first of all, I suppose just to have a quick chat about the DTT, or what happened at the beginning of the CA. So we are one of 3 groups who have developed a database with individual rules within each group. And what we want to do, as you know, is we want to be able to share all the data, or as much data as possible, between all the groups. To do this, we use XML, which is an extensible markup language, which converts each group's data into a central XML language to allow sharing. So everyone's data is passed into this XML language to allow everybody to read it. So in order to do this, we need a set of rules, and this is called the DTD, which allows the sharing between the different closed systems. To set these rules, all the groups met in college collectively at the beginning of the process, and we all agreed on a set of rules to use. And we created a DTT doc which was passed around all the groups, and that's where we all started from. Now it turns out that DTT document, I think, was revised something like 8 times because various changes were made, mistakes were copped, and they had to be adjusted as we went. We did have a photograph of the original rules, which I think I'll be submitting in my. I think some of the other groups have it as well, but I'll be submitting it with my files later on for my submission. Anyway, so to write the XML, I think Anthony had started writing some of the XML in our group, but myself and Sive had gone for the junction tables to try and get access to the junction tables, which we hadn't had for CA1, and that took a bit of time. So once we got our junction table sorted out, we went back then and started helping Anthony, and from that point on, it was really pair programming, really, with the 3 of us working together collaboratively for most of it. So maybe if I bring you into the code and take you through it, what we can try and do, I can show you how we validate an XML file. So I'll just hit run. So enter 2 to log into the system, enter my PPS number, which is my password, 5876220M. If we want to choose, I'll choose options, or press 6 if you would like to read patient data from database and write to an XML file. So hit 6. Okay, so if we look up here, it says XML successfully generated. Please open XML file. So my XML file is where? Here. So I'll just format that. Now I need to give this the set of rules that we use, so I need to paste my set of rules in there. There's our rules, patients.dtt. And if I quickly, just when I'm here, I'll quickly just run through these here. So for example, patients, which pretty much every group has, we decided on a number of rules. You can see the rules here. You have 0 or 1 time, which is a question mark. You have 0 or more times, which is an asterisk, and 1 or more times, which is a plus. So for example, in our patient, we've got first name, last name, date of birth, address, phone, email, PPS number, sex, medications, appointments, symptoms, healthcare professionals. Not everybody has all this information. What everyone does have is first name and last name, so that's why you see the plus there, to say 1 or more times, so it definitely has to be in at least 1. For the asterisks, it can be 0 or more times, which would be the date of birth, the address. In our situation, we have first name, last name, we don't have date of birth, we don't have address, we have phone number, we have PPS number, and then we have appointments, symptoms, healthcare professionals, although we're not focusing on symptoms at the moment. We are appointments and healthcare professionals. So that just quickly runs through some of the rules. If you go further down, you can see more here for medication. Again, it's 0 or more, and appointment, a lot of that we don't have actually, so it's 0 or more too. I don't think we have any of that there. Except date. Anyway, to go back up here, I'm just going to copy this. These are the set of rules, and I'm going to paste those into my XML. And I'll save that. And I will check the XML. So you can see that it's checking is finished and it's fine. And I will validate it. And validation finished and it's fine. So we have successfully written to our XML file. Now to read in from an XML file, we actually have an XML file here from Ruth's group or Mark's group. So I'm going to try and read that into the database. I'll just go into my database quickly, just give you a look at what's in there at the moment. So in our patient table, I've got 3 names. In our healthcare professional table, I've got 2 names. And in our consultation table, we've got 2 entries. So if I go back to my code and I want to, we have our set of rules here, patients.dtd. I want to check this XML, so it checks it, it's fine. I want to validate it, it's fine. So it's validated it. Now I want to run it. So log into the system again, 5876020, and what we want to do now is we want to read patient data from XML and write to database, so let's press 7. So file has opened successfully. XML file has been read and written to database. That's just a little confirmation printout that we have. So if I go into the database, you should see more names. And here we go. This is the data from Ruth. I'm not sure why we haven't taken in the patient data. Oh, there we go. That's the patient data. We did hit a problem, as I said earlier on, with one of our loops. We never actually checked to see if the patient was already in there. So you can see this patient has gone in many times, and the same with this. And you'll find the same thing happening with the healthcare professionals. That just brings me to a quick point there. You're aware of anyway the way we have structured our database, but the way we have done it is we have for every patient we could have 1 or more healthcare professionals. So what we've done is we've created an object of each patient, and within each of those objects we have an object of 1 or more healthcare professionals. So each patient could have many healthcare professionals. You're aware of that anyway. Yeah, I just wanted to refresh your memory there for that. So I'll go back to my code. And what is next on your agenda there on your marking scheme? So Java select. I just probably show you the code that we've written. We've actually commented out all our code. I'll just go into it there. We've commented out the whole way down, so we can give you an idea of who did what. And we'll see here, this is an array list for patient object CA2. We would have done that collaboratively. Everything is marked with CA2. We also have CA1 code here, so what differentiate is just the CA2. So you can see here new menu option CA2, new menu option CA2. So this is just writing to the database of the XML and so on. Menu choice methods there for CA2. So what we do, so if you choose option 6, if you'd like to read patient data from the database and write to XML, we have two methods which we call here. Get patient from database is the first method, and write patient XML from database. So if we want to go down to one of these quickly. We wrote a lot of this collaboratively, as I say. Myself and Sive had done the junction tables individually while Anthony was starting up with the XML. We had written this collaboratively really, which is the code that you had kind of given us anyway, most of it in class, and that's all working fine. So to bring me on to kind of a quick discussion on interoperability, I think, or maybe I'll just show you actually the issues we have with the junction table. The issues I have, I suppose. I think Sives is okay with her log. If she's logging, where is it? Logging a consultation, I think she's okay there. I was okay with my log symptom occurrence, but it doesn't seem to be working for me now. So I'll just go in and I'll run this again. So if I go into 2, which is login, so 58760, if I want to, I'll take Sives first. I'll take mine first. Log a new symptom occurrence is mine. Press 5. Enter the patient's first name. So I'll say Damian. Enter the patient's last name, Thorne. So it finds it goes into my patient ID or patient table and finds my ID. Enter the symptom name stored in database. So I think I have in pain in there. So it gets my symptom ID, and now it uses this to access the junction table. Input symptom location. I'll say knee. Input symptom duration in minutes, 52 minutes. Intensity 1. Symptom date 23rd of November. Say 2013. And now is where I run into issues. Yes, you can see here it talks about foreign key constraint. I have to get to the bottom of that. That wasn't happening on Anthony's machine. So I'm not sure. I've imported a database from him, and I think from him, so there may be some issues there. I need to get to the bottom of that. But it was working. It was working previously. I had that working on my machine before we did all our pair programming a few days ago. So that's that issue, and just get out of this, and I'll try and run the other method. So. Here we go. We run this, and this will be Size method, the one she worked on. She worked on new consultation, which is press 4, and I think this is actually working for her, but not for me for some reason. So please enter the patient's first name, Damian Thorne. So it gets the patient ID. Please enter the healthcare professional's first name stored in database, which I think I have Sarah. And then O'Brien. Input consultation date, let's say 24th November. Was the consultation scheduled? an input consultation method. Is something wrong there? I'm getting asked.